Coming up on First at 4, a cargo ship causes a bridge to collapse in Baltimore. What officials know about the incident coming up. And a Leslie County woman says she is guilty of murder. We'll take a look back at that case and what led to the plea.
Plus, we are tracking some more soggy weather today, but some drier air is looming. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, at least 6 construction workers are believed to be in the water and likely dead at the site of a bridge collapse in the port of Baltimore. Search efforts do continue as federal investigators arrive at the scene. CBS's Ryan Hughes has the latest.
Search and rescue efforts for missing construction workers are still underway after the stunning collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in the middle of the night. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and the NTSB are here at the scene.
And what they're going to look at and begin to collect is information on vessel operations, safety history, safety record.
The whole bridge just fell down.
Video shows the moment a massive container ship struck support pillars of the critical overpass. John Zafia is a crane operator at the port and felt the impact from his nearby home.
Just like an aftershock of an earthquake and a loud explosion.
The crew aboard the 974-foot vessel notified state officials the ship had lost propulsion and that hitting the bridge was possible.
There's a ship approaching. It just lost their steering.
Maryland's governor says that heads up helped save lives.
We're thankful that between the Mayday and the collapse that we had officials who were able to begin to stop the flow of traffic.
12 million vehicles crossed Baltimore's Key Bridge last year, and the port itself handled a record amount of cargo. It's not closed until further notice. President Biden promised federal aid.
It's my intention that federal government will pay for the entire cost of reconstructing that bridge.
The president said 15,000 jobs depend on that port. That includes Zafia's.
That's going to affect all of our work down there.
Officials say the bridge was fully up to code. Ryan Hughes, CBS News, Baltimore County, Maryland.
Well, certainly not going to be a quick fix there at all. A facility has been set up with mental health professionals for family members to deal with this tragedy. A news conference is ongoing right now, and of course we'll have the latest on this as it develops throughout the evening. The chairman of the Kentucky Senate Transportation Committee says what happened in Baltimore is a very tragic situation. Chairman Jimmy Higdon says when you have bridges and ships going under them, there's always a possibility something can happen. He says they have specifically allocated money in the state budget to make sure lights on the bridges are properly functioning, along with other preventative maintenance. A bridge was damaged in western Kentucky in a similar event when a bridge was hit by a barge on Kentucky Lake. He says what happened in Baltimore will generate a lot of discussion in Frankfort and in Washington, D.C.
Thinking about, how could this have been prevented? What can we do in the future with future bridge projects to make them safer?
Higdon says thankfully no one was hurt when the bridge collapsed in western Kentucky. With this latest bridge collapse, it's important for people to understand what you should do in the case of needing rescued. The Jackson Fire Department has dealt with water rescue missions several times during the last 2 years with the flooding that has impacted eastern Kentucky. Fire Chief Chase Deaton says if you find yourself in a situation where you need rescue from the water, it is very important not to panic.
Don't fight the rescuer. I know that's one of the big things. A lot of people, they panic, and sometimes they can do more harm than they can good. Just listen to the instructions that the rescuer gives, and that way we'll have a successful rescue.
Deaton says in situations involving water rescues, his first instinct is to determine how many people are impacted and to start search and rescue operations as soon as possible.
Well, the weather has been very gross on this Tuesday. We are wet, also gloomy, and showers continue as we go into this afternoon. Up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, we are tracking some more showers. The heavier bands close to I-75, zooming into Pulaski County, also moving into Rockcastle County, not too far away from Laurel County as well. A few heavier downpours in this location, but for most of us, we are tracking some light nuisance showers at this hour from Jackson, pushing over to Stanton, also for West Liberty, moving into Paintsville, also for Inez as well. A few more spotty showers are likely as we go into this evening. Those current temperatures are cooler today thanks to those clouds, also that pesky rain. Most of us in the middle to upper 50s, but notice as we zoom out, we are tracking this cold front over western Kentucky. And once that system clears our region, we are ushering in some drier, also some cooler air as we go into Tuesday night, also for the middle of this week. But this evening, if you have those plans, be sure to have that First Alert weather app as showers continue. You can track those showers with that free radar on that app. But notice as we go into late tonight, we are tracking some drier air, also some cooler conditions and lows as you wake up on Wednesday in the upper 40s to lower 50s. And high pressure is the big story for the rest of the work week. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thanks. A Laurel County woman is behind bars after police say she reportedly killed her husband. Officers say 59-year-old Yolanda Lamelli shot her husband and then called police. Officers with the Laurel County Major Crimes Task Force said dispatch received a call from Lamelli saying her husband had been shot and was possibly dead. She was taken to the Laurel County Detention Center. A Leslie County woman pleaded guilty to murder charges yesterday. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox is in Hyden with more on that case.
Cariana Burton pled guilty to murder in Leslie County Circuit Court on Monday as part of a plea agreement. Burton is charged in the death of Jacqueline Linger. Court records show Linger died after a November 2021 shooting in Leslie County. Burton remains in the Leslie County Detention Center. The plea agreement asks for Burton to spend 22.5 years in prison, but the official sentencing will be May 1st. In Leslie County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Court records say the shooting happened after an argument. We'll take a closer look at the case coming up at 6. A Laurel County grand jury indicted 31-year-old Trevor Goodson on several charges, including first-degree sexual abuse. Goodson is a former Laurel County School District employee. He was arrested on March 1st and is expected to be back in court July 22nd. Coming up on First at 4, nearly 1 year after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, justices are poised to make another ruling regarding access to abortion.
Plus, high pressure is the big story for the rest of the work week. Those details after this break.